Hi again, students. This is Leslie. I'm here to talk about our course assignment packet. This will be the final video that we do to prep you for the course. Stop cheering. All right. So I'm going to click it right here. I already have it up because my computer's so slow. You can access it right here, the course assignment packet, or you can go to content and click course assignment packet and click it right there. And here's an example of course project 2. So, all right, here we are, our course assignment packet. And it's 11 pages because I don't know how to do things small. All right, here is a handy summary of the due dates and how to upload or access them. All right, first discussion or our first topic is your discussions, your weekly discussions. And I've talked about these elsewhere in your weekly assignment sheets. I've talked about them. I've also discussed them in videos. This goes into a little bit more depth in case you're wondering. So it breaks everything down, the weight of each thing that you do, what you'll do sequentially. So first you'll do the weekly readings, whatever those may be. And then you will find again each week's module. So you'll go to content, you'll click through it, say we're in week 6, you'll click through week 6, which I think is socialization. You'll look at the socialization weekly assignment sheet, you'll look at the PowerPoints for that, and then you'll go into, I think, communication, discuss, access the questions. If you find literature outside the course, you're researching it, outside of the books and the PowerPoints, please cite, please provide a link. I am a big fan of not plagiarizing, so do that. I will give you a 0 if I can tell that you were using information that came from somewhere else and you didn't cite it. Okay, telling you about answers, I think there'll be a brief paragraph, a piece. And then I tell you again, if you'd like to post early and have me give you some feedback so that you can readjust it and reply to your original post with some corrected or expanded points, then you're welcome to do that. I'm not guaranteeing that I can get to it before the due date, but there's a good chance that I can. Okay, you can answer questions anytime before they're due. You could also do assignments anytime before they're due, but you can't do it after. So the deadlines are pretty firm, but you can always do it before. If I post in any forum, read it. That means likely, I'm not just going to go post and go, good point. Although I may here and there. But for the most part, I'm going to post when I feel like the conversation may be veering off, or I need to correct something, or I need to address a big point, or whatever. So it is essential that you read my posts, all right? And I urge you to read the other students as well. And then you actually will respond to another student. I say a 2 or more sentence response. Make sure that they're substantive and reflective. What I'm grading you on, it needs to be very obvious to me that you did the readings, you looked through the PowerPoints, and you're familiar with these topics. If it's just a discussion of your experiences or your opinions without providing sociological context, you won't get the fully fabulous grade that you could otherwise get. And don't quote. I hate quoting. Okay. Excuse me. So we have chats. These are the dates. These are the dates because I'm pointing, because you can see where I'm pointing. All right, right here are our 5 dates. You will need to attend at least 2 of them. And during those live chats, they'll be 2 hours in length. I will be there the whole time. You pop in. You don't have to be there the whole 2 hours. You can pop in, ask or answer a question or two, pop out. You're good to go. That's all it is. This gives you an opportunity to talk with me, to bring any concerns, any questions to me. It's a way for us to check in with one another. Okay. And then I say, if you absolutely cannot make any of the 5 times, I really want you to. But if you can post 2 questions in the chat alternative at the bottom of our discuss page. All right, and we have 2 course projects. Here's the first one. You're going to be doing some researching, okay? Little independent researching, but it's not going to be terrible, so don't worry. You will need to go to communication, discuss, go to the very bottom, look at the list. I'll actually show you the list. It's in here in just a second. Choose the topic that looks the sexiest to you and that no other student has already chosen, and then you will need to post in that forum and tell me which one you're going to do. Make sure, again, you don't choose someone else's. We have more topics than we do students, so there is no reason that we should have to double up. And then you will need to use at least 2 resources. You can use the textbook or what have you, and also get 1 outside source and create some kind of brief presentation. As I say, you can do a flyer, a PowerPoint, a Prezi, a YouTube video. I don't really care, as long as you can upload it to the bottom of our communication discuss. It's at the very, very bottom. It's CP 1.2, course project 1.2. You can upload it there. And if it's a link, you can upload the link to wherever it's at on the web. I say you don't have to comment on other people's presentations. This is one time you don't have to comment. Make a note of the due date. I won't send you, I'm not like the dentist office who will call you the day before and say, remember, not going to do it. You're going to need to keep track of your own due date and turn in your course project on time. I will accept late projects, but I will also deduct late points for it. And then here's what you have to do to get an A. Obviously, you have to be sociological. You have to use your sociological imagination. You need to think through these topics. You need to present information. You need to have 2 sources. You need to reflect, use course terms and concepts that we've gone over. Show me that you are taking this class seriously. And don't quote anyone because I hate quoting. All right. Here are those topics I told you about. Now, these are the weeks to which they correspond. Here is their due date. So you will need to have your presentation for course project 1 uploaded to the bottom of the discuss page where it says CP 1.2 by 11:59 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on January 27th, if you decide to do the Protestant ethic. Max Weber, and that's Weber, by the way, if you decide to do that. But choose whichever topic you think is super sexy. You're like, oh wow, intersectionality, I've always wanted to look at that. So you go into discuss at CP 1.1 and tell me, hey, I want to do intersectionality, and I'll be like, yay, and then that's your topic. But make sure no one else has done it. So it behooves you to do this quickly, right? All right, and then you'll research and you'll post something and we will look at it and revel in your brilliance. Course project 2. This will make more sense to you after you've looked through the culture week. So this talks about subcultural norms. This is essentially what you're going to do. You are going to think of one subculture of which you are a member. You're actually a member of a bunch of them, but you're just going to choose one, and you're going to talk about what are some of the rules that govern your behavior. And that's what a norm is. They're rules about behavior. And so I provide an example under content of what I think a butch lesbian, right? If I were a member of the butch lesbian subculture, I'm actually not. So perhaps I should have chosen a better one, but I still thought it was really interesting to do a little bit of research on that. I thought that was interesting to educate y'all on some of that stuff and to reflect on myself, do a little bit of research. So, but don't do as I do as I say, and choose a subculture of which you are a member, okay? And then do a little research if you want. Talk about the expected behaviors that others in that subculture have of you because you're a member of that subculture, okay? And that, if you do all of that, you will get a B. Here's where you'll get an A. If you use if you use course concepts or terms, not just norm or subculture, But I mean, you actively think through this. You start talking about, oh, hey, this is obviously a functionalist thing, or this is reminiscent of labeling theory, or gosh, I don't know. As Ryman says, the rich get richer, the poor get prison. This is an example of class-based inequality. Or my subculture, although it is ostensibly open to anyone, it tends to be predominantly occupied and populated by white men because this tends to be a masculinized thing. Traditionally, this has been a way to prove manhood, and so it has an element of danger to it, which is a way that we construct particularly young masculinity. Some kind of analysis that uses some coarse terms like that. That's going to make it an A. You can do whatever kind of format you want. You don't have to write a paper. You can do like a mock diary entry. You can do a blog. You can do a video blog. You can do a PowerPoint presentation, a collage. You can paint a picture and send it to me. Not the picture, probably a picture of the picture. You know what I mean? I have a bunch of different ideas. I don't care how you do it. I don't care what format this takes as long as you have fun with it. Okay? So that is course project 2. Let me know if you have any questions. Here is a copy of the butch lesbian thing that I threw together. I made a brochure and it says, how do you know if you're a butch lesbian? Let me tell you. So this is what this is. And I think critically, I did some research. Oh, you can't tell because I don't have it here, but I did some research on masculine behaviors and then I talked about the difference between sex and gender and how masculinity is not necessarily the sole possession of men, that indeed it can belong to women, although that said, not all lesbians are masculine, of course. All right, community involvement. So in lieu of a final, you are going to take the knowledge that you've gained and maybe some of the angst and the sorrow that you've gained from talking about social inequality and channel it into doing something in your community that makes the world a better place. Okay? I don't care how you define making the world a better place. I don't care how you do this as long as you are somehow effecting some kind of change. So you can do that through a lot of different things like writing letters to your congressperson. You can go volunteer somewhere. You can, oh gosh, you can stage a protest. You can go lobby your legislators. You can go pick up trash. You can donate blood. You can go walk animals. You can make an educational website about a particular social topic you find compelling. Whatever it is. Essentially, I want you to think of a social problem and then think about a way to address it. And then go do 5 hours. And it could be 5 hours sitting on your butt in front of the computer, making an educational website, posting about things on Facebook, I don't know, publicizing a brochure that you make, whatever it is. Or you can actually go volunteer. You can leave the house. I don't care how you do it. Just do 5 hours or so. You'll be graded mostly on how much time you spend. You will get an A if you spend 5 hours. You'll get an A+ if you spend 6 or more. All right, and if you're like, I have no idea what I want to do, I have your 25 examples. You can choose any of them. You can make an educational YouTube video. I've made a few of those. I don't just mean this. I mean in terms of activism. And you can have fun with this. Make the world a slightly better place. Is this not way better than a final? Yeah. All right, and then when you're done with that, this is going to be due on the very last day of class. When you're done doing your 5 hours, whatever that may entail, you will write up something that looks like this. And this is what I did last semester. This is my example. My community involvement, the social issue I addressed was the needs of homeless Rapid City animals because I'm kind of a fan of the animals. I organized a food and supply drive. I talked to students, I talked to friends, I talked to a lot of people, ended up rounding up a bunch of stuff, filled up my car, as you can see in the pictures, and took all this stuff to the Humane Society and I filled their bin. Yes, go us. So, and then I said, it ended up taking about 5.5 hours. Okay, and then finally, here's your midterm. Very last page of the course assignment packet. Here's your midterm. I anticipate you will take about a short paragraph to answer each of these questions. There are 5 of them. They're worth 6 points apiece for a total of 30 points. Do not quote. If you really want to work with other